Have you ever felt that sudden, sharp tightness in your chest, the moment your phone vibrates with a simple, harmless text message? It's just 4 words, a mere handful of characters glowing on the screen. I'm coming over. To the rest of the world, this is a signal of joy, a bridge of connection, a promise of shared laughter and human warmth. But for you, the sentinel of the silent sanctum, it is a siren blaring in the deep, dark corridors of your psyche. You smile. You type back, "Yeah, sure, come by." But as your thumb hits the send button, you feel a piece of your internal empire begin to retreat. Your brain whispers a truth that the world calls rude, but your soul calls survival. There goes my peace. If you know that feeling, that visceral, subterranean dread of having your sanctuary disturbed, trust me, you are not alone. You are not a misanthrope. You are not cold-hearted, and you are certainly not broken. You are a biological fortress whose maps have been drawn with the ink of extreme sovereignty. We are not just talking about hosting a guest. We are narrating the life and death battle for the only soil on this planet that is truly, absolutely yours. The doorbell rings. To the world, it is a chime of hospitality. To your amygdala, the ancient, unblinking gatekeeper of the reptilian brain, it is the sound of a sovereignty violation. It is the klaxon of a perimeter breach. Why does someone you genuinely love feel like a biological threat the moment they cross your threshold? The answer isn't in your personality. It's in the way your neural pathways map your living room, not as a building, but as an externalized layer of your own skin. This is the biology of the barrier, and the war has just begun. The chime is a kinetic strike against the silence you have spent weeks fortifying. As the handle turns, the very geometry of your universe is redrawn in real time. The guest invader steps across the threshold, and in that instant, the air in the room undergoes a violent chemical transformation. You are now a soldier in the Proxemic War, a conflict fought on the invisible, high-voltage maps of human space. Psychologically, people who value solitude possess something profound called territorial comfort. Your home isn't just a physical structure of wood, stone, and mortar. It's your emotional reset button, the only place where the atmospheric pressure of life matches the internal pressure of your soul. Every sound, every object, every routine inside this fortress is a variable that you control with absolute dictatorial precision. Think of your mind as a calm, glassy pond, a mirror of your internal order, reflecting the stillness of the void. When a guest arrives, even one you admire, it is as if a heavy, jagged stone has been dropped into that still water. Nothing bad has happened in the physical realm, but the ripples change everything. This is the reality of Edward T. Hall's proxemic zones, where the intimate space is not a suggestion, but a requirement for survival. Most people have a personal bubble that is easily shared, but for the architect of solitude, that bubble is a mile wide and made of razor wire. When an outsider enters, they are not just standing in a room, they are stepping onto your raw nerves. You feel their thermal heat radiating into your curated atmosphere, a foreign warmth that disrupts the cool clarity of your solitude. You hear the rhythmic, thrumming noise of their respiration, a biological engine that isn't synchronized with your own, creating a mechanical friction that grates against your internal gears, like iron filings poured into a Swiss watch. You are forced into a state of environmental vigilance, a high-alert protocol where every movement they make, every adjustment of their weight on your sofa, every flicker of their eyes across your bookshelves is a tactical maneuver that your brain must calculate, record, and counter. You are no longer existing in a state of flow. You are monitoring a breach in the very system of your identity. We must dissect the metabolic drain of the social armor, the lead-line suit you are forced to wear the moment the bioelectrical intruder sits on your furniture. Out there, in the marketplace of human interaction, you are a performer of the highest caliber. You are polite, you are aware, you are on. You navigate the world with a mask forged from years of societal expectations and refined social camouflage. But inside your home, the social exoskeleton finally comes off. This is your backstage, as Erving Goffman described, the sacred void where the breathing gets deeper, the shoulders drop, and the world stops demanding a tax on your energy. Home is the only place on this spinning rock where the mask is hung on a hook and the soul can breathe in its raw, unfiltered, and terrifying state. So, when a visitor enters, the mask must go right back on. You are forced to perform normalcy while you are in your sanctuary. This is the micro-masking protocol. You have 0.5 seconds to construct the facade of the welcoming host before the invader sees the exhaustion in your eyes. This effort drains you quietly, like a background application on a high-performance phone that is slowly but surely killing the battery percentage. You are nodding, you are laughing, you are offering the hollow coins of conversation, but your internal system monitor is flashing red. Every hour of this performance of self is a metabolic debt that you will have to pay back with days of total silence. The subject across from you is a harvester, unknowingly reaping the finite crop of your dopamine and cognitive reserves. You watch them move a coaster. You watch them leave a glass on the table, creating a ring of moisture that feels like a scar on your heart. These are not small acts. They are the tactical signatures of an occupation, foreign footprints on the pristine snow of your peace. Your internal engine is overheating. The cooling fans of your patience are spinning at maximum velocity. Yet the social contract demands you keep them silent and invisible. You are experiencing a social heist in the one place where you were supposed to be safe from the world's demands. The air grows thin as the tsunami of sensory input begins to crest and break over the walls of your psyche. Your brain is a high-resolution sensor caught in a standard-definition world, and for you, silence isn't just the absence of noise, it is oxygen. When the visitor speaks, the silence breaks, and a gentle, persistent tension creeps into the room, vibrating through the very wood of your fortress. You hear the clink of their ice against the glass, a sharp, percussive sound that feels like a physical blow to your concentration. You notice the way they lean against the wall, the specific cadence of their laughter, the faint, alien scent of their existence. Each detail is a hammer strike to the delicate glass of your focus. You are experiencing social noise, a chaotic interference pattern that drowns out the quiet, divine symphony of your own thoughts. You find yourself calculating the remaining molecules of air in the room, wondering how long it will take before the atmosphere becomes toxic to your spirit. This sensitivity often comes from the fallen architecture of a childhood, where guests meant stress, where a knock at the door signaled a sudden shift in the house's gravity. Your brain learned early that an open door meant a closed heart, or a disrupted routine, or a performance you never asked for. So now, as an adult, visitors activate old, subterranean tensions, a biological memory of the need to hide, to defend, to survive. You aren't being rude. You are engaging a protective protocol, forged in the fires of your personal history. You are an orchid being trampled by a well-meaning dandelion, and the dandelion has no idea that its very presence is a crushing weight you can no longer carry. You are undergoing a system flush, trying to stay grounded while your internal world is being flooded by the external chaos of another person's reality. You are watching their mouth move, but you are hearing the sound of your own energy leaking out of the room, leaving you hollow and grey.
And then the meeting went complete.
This is why you, the master of the tactical retreat, always suggest the neutral ground. The cafe, the park, the busy restaurant. It is never about the coffee. It is about the sovereignty of the exit. In a public space, you are a mobile fortress, in a world of travelers. You hold the power of the departure. You can pay the tab, stand up, and vanish the moment your internal battery hits the 5% mark. Your inner world stays safely yours because you haven't let the intruder pass the gates. You have met them at the border, but at home, you are the anchored king. You are tied to the throne by the iron chains of hospitality and the heavy weight of the social contract. You cannot leave. You cannot escape the noise. You must wait for the guest to decide when the occupation is over. This is the moment of stoic sovereignty, the realization that your time is your only non-renewable resource, a finite currency that is being harvested by someone who doesn't even know they are a thief. Every minute spent in a conversation you didn't want is a minute carved out of your immortality, a sacrifice on the altar of a politeness you never consented to. Protecting your home is not a sign of hatred. It is a moral duty to your sanity. You can love people deeply and still crave the absolute void. Your no is not a weapon of destruction. It is the most sacred yes you will ever give to yourself. You are a sanctuary builder in a world that demands 24/7 access to your mind, your space, and your soul. The world calls you antisocial, but the fate observer sees the truth. You are a guardian of the flame, a defender of the only temple left in a world of strip malls and digital noise. You are the architect of your boundaries, and those boundaries are the only things keeping you from dissolving into the screaming, mindless mass of the collective. Then, the miracle happens. The guest invader stands. The great thaw begins. You walk them to the threshold, your heart beginning to find its natural, peaceful rhythm for the first time in hours. You exchange the final pleasantries, those hollow, plastic coins of social currency, and then the moment of transcendence arrives. The click, the lock, engages. The deadbolt slides home with the finality of a judge's gavel. Listen, can you hear that? That is not just silence. That is the sound of your soul returning to its body. That is the post-guest afterglow, a neurochemical release more potent than any artificial high, a flood of relief that washes away the social poison of the afternoon. You walk back into the center of your kingdom, but you are not the same person who stood there an hour ago. You are now a restoration architect, repairing the symmetry of the void. You move the glass back to its original, perfect coordinate. You fluff the pillow, erasing the indentation of the foreign presence. You open the window to let the lingering ghost of their existence evaporate into the cold, silent night air. You are scrubbing the crime scene of a social interaction. You are resetting the atmospheric pressure of your life. You are once again the undisputed ruler of the empty kingdom. This is real existence. The social poison has been neutralized. The air is clean. You are no longer a performer. You are once again the sovereign of the silent fortress. The physical relief is so profound, it feels like weightlessness, as if the crushing gravity of the other person has finally been lifted, allowing you to float once again in the vast, beautiful darkness of your own thoughts. You have survived the invasion. The borders are once again absolute, and the fortress is yours. In an age of digital noise and physical intrusion, your boundaries are your only salvation. You are a high-value soul in a low-resolution world. Do not apologize for the moats you have dug or the height of the walls you have built with such care. Those walls are the only thing standing between you and the total colonization of your identity by the tribal drones of the outside world. You are not a hater. You are a sanctuary builder. In a world that demands you be available at all times, your no is a revolutionary act of self-preservation. Home is not a stage for the entertainment of others. It is who you are when no one is watching. It is the place where you can finally stop performing and start being. If the sound of a key turning in the lock is your favorite symphony, then you belong here in this laboratory. We do not do comfort. We do only the cold and hard truth of human behavior. You are the architect of your own destiny, the general of an army of one. The door is locked. The silence is yours. What will you do with your reclaimed kingdom? Use this quiet to build something that the world can never touch. The transmission is dark, but your eyes are finally open. Subscribe to the lab if you are ready to stop being a host for the masses and start being the sovereign of the silence. The game is over for them, but your real existence has just begun. Go into the quiet. Do not look back. The stadium is empty, and the silence is yours to fill with greatness. Do not waste another second of your finite existence on a performance you never wanted to give. Your time is the only currency that matters, and you have just stopped wasting it on a lie. The laboratory is closed. The street is waiting. The world belongs to the ones who do not watch. It belongs to the ones who do. Start doing, now. The world will always knock. The invaders will always be outside. But the key is in your hand. You have the right to remain unreachable. You have the right to treat your home as a temple of the void. In the end, the crowd will go home to their own noise. But you will stay here, in the magnificent, echoing cathedral of your own silence. You have defended the perimeter. You have won the war of the living room. You are the ghost in the machine, the unreachable man, the one who understands that silence is not a luxury, but a biological necessity for the gods among men. Every object in your room is a silent witness to your evolution. Every shadow is a friend you don't have to entertain. Every second of solitude is a brick in the monument of your true potential. You have reclaimed your dopamine. You have reclaimed your life. The afterglow is your reward, a golden piece that reminds you who you are when the world isn't watching. You are the fate observer of your own timeline, and your timeline is finally quiet. Silence is not a luxury. It is a biological necessity for the gods among men. Do not let them take it from you again. The transmission ends here. The perimeter is secure. Breathe. Just breathe.